Hello everybody. Today in biostatistics we are going to discuss about the sampling techniques, and this is the part 2 and the last part. So just a bit of revision. What is sampling? Samples represents population under research. Sampling is the method by which samples are chosen from population to do a research work. Means if a research worker scheduled to do a research work and have some criteria regarding the sample, and if this is the whole population on which he or she want to do the research work, so these persons are the samples, so they are collected as a sample and the research work is done on them. So different types of techniques are applied to choose the sample from the population, and that is called the sampling method or the sampling technique. So regarding the sampling technique, there are basically two sampling techniques, probability sampling techniques and non-probability sampling techniques. Regarding the probability sampling techniques, I have discussed in the previous video, that is in part 1. So this video is totally dedicated to non-probability sampling techniques, and we can see that there are different types of non-probability sampling techniques like purposive sampling, expert sampling, quota sampling, heterogeneity sampling, snowball sampling, accidental sampling. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So there are 6 basic classification of non-probability sampling techniques. Again, we can see that quota sampling is again subdivided into proportional and non-proportional quota sampling. So what is non-probability sampling? This technique does not follow any mathematical guideline, and so the members of the population do not have the equal chance of being selected. This method is based on the principle of availability. In case of the probability sampling, we have discussed that the total system of the probability sampling and all the subsampling techniques of the probability sampling was totally dependent on the mathematical guideline. So every member had the chance of being selected from the population as a sample. But this is not true in the case of the non-probability sampling because it does not follow any mathematical guideline, and it is based on the principle of availability. So the first type is purposive sampling technique. The name implies that due to some or for some purpose, this sampling is done. In this case, sampling is done for a purpose in mind. This type of sampling is very useful for situations where the researcher needs to reach a targeted sample within a short period of time. Like if this is the whole population and I have a particular purpose of selecting some person who have the specific quality of classical singing. So these persons are selected as sample because my purpose was to, or the purpose of the research worker is to identify those people or to research with those people present in the population who are expert in the, not expert, who can sing a bit of classical singing. So this is the example of the purposive sampling technique. Expert sampling technique. In this case, samples are assembled on the basis of expertise in some area like panel of expert. Expert sampling is essentially just a specific subcase of purposive sampling. For example, if a particular singing competition is going on and we need some judges who are expert in this particular field. So if this is my total population, this 1 to 12 person is my total population, then according to the expertise, person 2, person 5, person 8 and person 10 are chosen because they are expertise in that particular singing criteria. So they are chosen as a sample or the panel of experts. So this is expert sampling technique. Next, quota sampling technique. In the sampling types, the researchers select samples non-randomly. Very important to note this, non-randomly. That means on basis of some quota, according to some fixed quota. These are of two types, proportional quota sampling and non-proportional quota sampling. Let's see the example. If this is the whole population under consideration, so what is the quota? The person who are male and above 50, that is the quota, who comes under this quota will be selected as a sample. So from this whole population, according to the quota, that is the person should be male and above 50, they are chosen as a sample. Now what is this proportional quota sampling? In this case, the researcher actually represent the major characteristics of the populations by sampling a proportional amount of each. Say for example, if the researchers know that in a population there are 60% women and 40% men, and the researcher wants 100 sample size in total, then he or she will continue sampling until he or she reach the targeted sample size. Suppose the research worker has got 60 women but yet to have 40 men. So the research worker will continue to search for the men, but no more women will be taken for the research purpose because the quota for the women is fulfilled, because the research worker needed 60 women. So 60 women is completed. So this is the proportional quota sampling. Now what is non-proportional quota sampling? For example, in this method, the research worker specifies the minimum number of the sampled unit. Researcher wants in each category. Here, the researcher is not concerned with having members that match the proportions in the population. So this is the non-proportional quota sampling. There is no proportion. Like I need 100 sample, 60 from women, 60, 40 from men. Like we just now heard about the proportional quota sampling, but in case of the non-proportional quota sampling, no fixed proportion is mentioned. So this is quota sampling technique. Now heterogeneity sampling technique. In case of heterogeneity sampling technique, this is also called sampling for diversity. It is done when the researcher wants to include all opinions or views. Like there is a particular topic on which the researcher want to collect the view of all the people present in a particular place, or all the people of concerned. Like actually it's not like sampling the people but the ideas. You can see all the ideas are gathered by the research worker. Now, snowball sampling technique. This type of sampling is used when one is trying to reach population that are inaccessible or hard to find. In this case, it begins by identifying some person who meets the criteria for inclusion in the study. The researcher asks them to help to find more such people. For example, this is the research worker, and these two person he found who meets the criteria of his research. Now, because it is not possible for this research worker to go to the whole population because they are inaccessible. For example, the extreme tribes of Andamans and Nicobar Island. So this person, they used to find more person like them. They used to meet with other person. In this way, the research worker ultimately goes to the snowball. That means the whole population. Here the criteria is just opposite. What we generally do, that from the whole sample we take few sample, whole population we take few sample. But here, because of the inaccessibility of the whole population, one or two people they leads to the whole sample. So this is the, or the whole population. This is the snowball sampling technique. Now, accidental sampling technique. This is also called availability sampling. This is because it makes use to the respondents available at the time. Participation is based on the availability. Like a journalist can take the interview only when the person is available at that time. We can see in the example that this lady taking interview of this person only when this person is available. So it is called the availability sampling. So what are the advantages of non-probability sampling? These techniques are less costly, naturally, we can see, very much time saving in nature because it's actually depends on the availability. In the quota sampling, when a person under study refuses to cooperate, he or she may be replaced by another person who is ready to provide the information. Less effort is required. So these four are the advantages of the non-probability sampling. So these are the disadvantages. These techniques suffer from systemic errors because no mathematical formula or no mathematical steps are involved here. Encounter sampling bias. It is very easy when there is no proper procedure of sampling. Easily the sampling bias comes. Sample size determination is hard due to lack of formula, just I have told. Inferences drawn from the sample are not generalized to the population because if there is some biased sample, so this particular inference may not be applicable for the whole population. So these are the disadvantages of the non-probability sampling. So here are some questions, 7 questions you have to answer by yourself. All the answers you will get in the video. So thank you very much for your patient listening. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, like and share my videos to get the notification on the bell icon because each and every day new educational videos are uploaded here. Wait for the next video. So long. Bye bye.